Something else that you have for us, I think that's completely new since your previous appearances on the show, are some interesting new real life use cases of mathematical optimization. So you have, of course, alluded to some of them. We've talked about the burrito optimization game, or as a toy example, or the new Gurobi coffee example. You've mentioned that application areas like supply chain, logistics, those tend to be areas that use mathematical optimization a fair bit. But I'd love to dig into a few more cool real life use cases that have cropped up in recent months.
Yeah, so we recently had our what we call the Gurobi Decision Intelligence Summit. It's our fancy sort of event that we put on ourselves. We invite customers, we invite prospects, we invite anyone who's interested in learning more about optimization. We invite you to come. Last year, it just finished up a couple weeks ago. We were in Vegas, and so we're bringing in like um, super cool customers that are doing really cool things. And we had a couple talks that I thought were
I like how you had to pause there because you're like, like company names go into your head and then you can't say them. So
yeah
we get some pause.
yeah.
Really cool companies.
But I will mention a couple. There's a couple that I can mention. There's some that I can't. Sadly, again, we're the best kept secret in decision making. I guess that's what. If you're going to come away with anything, optimization and Gurobi's the best kept secret because people don't like to talk about us because yeah. Why would you spill the beans? But there are two presentations that I really liked. One was from Toyota, and they're talking about how they used optimization for planning of vehicle manufacturing. So they're getting sort of demand forecasts of like, okay, this is the number of this type of vehicle that I expect to that customers would want in this region at this time. So you can sort of see if you're thinking about by region over a certain amount of time, the whole sort of fleet of Toyota vehicles that they offer, that's a pretty big problem. And now you're thinking about like, okay, manufacturing that. How can I best manufacture these things, these cars, at minimal costs and everything? You sort of see all of the small things that trickle into making a car is it's a very complex process. But they ran through how they're sort of building tools, and there's an aspect of LLMs and natural language in this as well. But they allowed their planners to sort of interact with an optimization model that an optimization team built this optimization model, but they allowed sort of their planners to interact with that and do scenario tests and what if analysis on all of these sort of things. Like, well, what if the tariffs on this particular thing, what if tariffs go up by from 0% to 10%, and then next week they're 80%, and then the week after that they're back down to 10, and then sometimes they're 30%. This is it's an insane time to try and plan long-term manufacturing right now. It's like insane with all this sort of fluctuation of particularly tariffs. But they had a tool that had optimization in the back, had sort of an LLM sort of interface where the planners can really interact with this and say, okay, well, what if tariffs are this, or what if my supply of this thing was cut in half or something. It's like interacting with the optimization model in a very natural way and getting all of these sort of cool scenarios, and really being able to understand, okay, what if this happens? What should I be doing? How should I be manufacturing things at sort of like at some macro level, and really making decisions that will impact the company. And it's just providing like a whole new way to access optimization to people who don't, they're not going to be writing the models, they're not going to be doing any of the Python coding, but these are the people who are making the decisions, who have all this sort of SME expertise, all this business expertise, all this foundational knowledge of like, I actually know how to plan manufacturing for cars and stuff like that. I know all of this. I don't know optimization, but now like this group at Toyota, they did an exceptional job of sort of blending the two and letting people interact with that. So that was one super cool case. And the other one is with Total Wine. The other ones that I could mention is Total Wine. And it's again a similar problem of like, how can I? It's a similar-ish problem because it's kind of supply chainy, but it's, essentially, if you think about what a Total Wine store is, it's a massive store that has all the beer and wine that you could ever want, like anything you're interested in finding. And depending on state laws, there's maybe like liquors and stuff like that too. Um,
And here I thought it was a platform for getting complete complaints.
I love it. But what I really liked about their story is sort of if you think about like the complexity of decision making that can happen within something like that. It's like, okay, well, I buy a bunch of beer, I buy a bunch of wine, okay, but you're sort of thinking about complexity is and in the presentation, the presenter is talking about like, okay, I want to buy just like one brand of beer or something. The choices that you have in just that single sort of brand is pretty massive. Like, am I buying massive cases? Am I buying individual six packs? How many am I buying? 20 cases of 24, cases of 18, all that sort of stuff. When am I getting them? How often are they coming? How often are they arriving? And everything like that. And then now you think about that for pretty much every beer that exists particularly in like North America, or are you importing them? Every wine is it's a massive, massive problem and not easy to solve. But what I really liked about this problem is, the Toyota folks that I just mentioned, and a lot of our sort of customers, they have what we call operations research sort of expertise sort of in-house. Even the Toyota example, the person who presented it was not, did not have the traditional background of our customer, of our common customer. He is an AI person, but had some mathematical chops to him, and so it was like not super. He took to it a little bit faster than I think some would. But Total Wine folks, they were a team of data scientists. They were people who did not have a traditional sort of operations research background, industrial engineering. Those are some of the common degree types that people have who have been exposed to linear programming, mixed integer programming, the mathematical optimization things. That's where you typically learn that. But these were people who were, I'm a data scientist, been doing that for a decade now. Oh, we have this new problem type that we're trying to solve. Machine learning is not cutting it. What else can we do? Oh, okay. I've learned of mathematical optimization. Now we need to actually do it. And so it was a total success story of taking a team of people who did not really know how to do this right away, understanding their learning, their pain points and stuff like that, understanding what worked for them and what didn't. It was just a great story to hear, that this stuff, that if you're listening to this now and you're like, oh well, you know I don't have time to listen, I don't have time to learn all of this, or I don't know the benefits of it. Should I just hire or something like that? But that's also complicated and it can be time consuming and blah blah blah. It can be done in house. You can build a team that can take care of this, that can do this at the scale. And I think this is where a company like Gurobi, and this is why I love working for the company I work for, is we don't just like hand you the software and say, good luck, have fun. As long as your check clears, blah blah blah, we're gonna, yeah, we're not gonna talk with you. We have an exceptional sort of support team that helps you with this. So if you get stuck, not stuck with like, hey, I don't know how to build my model stuck, but like, hey, this is taking a lot longer than I thought to run, or we're getting like these sort of error messages, or we have issues with this or that. You have people, when you submit like a ticket with us, you have someone with a PhD in optimization or decades of experience that looks at that and thinks, here's how I can help you. So they leveraged that, and they used sort of our, you know, they used our support system to really sort of help them, and now they're saving, I mean, I don't want to mischaracterize the number, but it's a lot of money, and they're being able to reinvest it. Then, and that's what's really great about these projects, these optimization projects, is yeah, you're saving money typically, but it gives you an opportunity to reinvest and make things better elsewhere. So those are a couple really cool customer stories that I was able to hear, and there's tons more though, tons more.